There's a whole new energy in this music with the Polish Chamber Orchestra playing it. We have this special connection which I've never really experienced with any other orchestra. They've got like phenomenal response, you know, call and response with the violin and the orchestra. Immediately they understand what I'm on about, you know, and they've got intellectual credentials, all of the players. They've got fantastic playing credentials. They've got also, what is the most important thing for me, enjoyment of the moment. That actually new things can happen in a performance where we all learn together from the real experience of rehearsing together. My first performance here in Warszawa, right? I played Elgar Concerto, and some bloke said, "You play that romantic music." You know, he liked the way I played this romantic music, and so he, just on the street, a guy who'd been in the audience gave me an album of Winarski Concerto with Konstanty Kulka playing it with, I think, Kazimierz Kord conducting. And it sat on my shelf for I don't know, 3-4 years before I actually listened to it. And then I thought, man, that's great music. And I'd listened to it in a hotel. I forgot the CD in a hotel, and it took me another 1.5 years to get another one. So, you know, it's a long time ago and a long, tedious story, but it was just by total chance. It wasn't through any historic interest in music which I could pretend to have, because I really don't believe in all of that stuff very much. You know, I think the music speaks for itself. I'm very much into the end of the Romantic period, you know, Elgar, Sibelius, this type of music where Schoenberg starts as a young man, you know, from the end of Wagner. It's a fantastic era, very rich music, very interesting, never a dull moment, so to speak. So in that respect, Winarski fits just into the type of music that I really enjoy playing in a simpatico type of way. I think I went off like a Sputnik or something. Cool, man. Should we just that più animato maybe before? Oh yeah, that's maybe yeah, nice one. Cool, man.
I think this is the repertoire that extends from his recording of Elgar. Not only is it stylistically similar, comparable, but it's interesting to hear unknown repertoire, particularly interesting unknown repertoire, which extends the romantic theme of the Elgar.
You know, it's strange with Winarski because, you know, let alone the rest of the world, none of the musicians here in this orchestra had ever played it before. You know, so even in Poland, Winarski is a forgotten concerto.
It is extraordinary that he's unknown, given the attraction of the music when you hear it for the first time. I suspect the only answer can be that he was primarily known as a conductor, not as a composer, and so we are only now learning of the beauty of the music that he wrote. Perhaps if he had conducted a bit more of his own music during the time, the legacy might have been stronger.
Polish music, it's most important to me. Of course, like Szymanowski, it's now very well known abroad, and it's a great composer. But this particular records with Młynarski and Karłowicz, I'm sure it's very well known in Poland, but not abroad.
Really, I have no idea, because the first time I've heard Młynarski second violin concerto played by Nigel, and yeah, really, and yeah, and I don't know why he's forgotten in Poland.
Well, if you look through the whole year, in all of the symphonic halls in Poland, I doubt whether anything by Młynarski has been performed, for instance. So it's a new discovery, not just for me, but for the orchestra. Młynarski was not ashamed of the Polish heritage or trying to avoid it. I would say there's real passion in Młynarski's music, and despite his academic credentials and things like founding the Philharmonic in Warsaw, which is one of the great concert halls of Europe, and starting the National Philharmonic Orchestra, which is still very much in evidence here in Warsaw musical life. Those things actually represent his passion for music. You know, he wanted to get a group of musicians together in the same way that now, in the modern day, the Polish Chamber Orchestra, Orkiestra Kameralna Polska, they are a representation of the times of the early 70s, when a group of musicians, because of their passion for music, really wanted to get something together. You know, someone like Jerzy Maksymiuk and Franciszek Wybranczek got this orchestra together because of the passion of the music.
I said it's coming from here.
Thank you so much, man. Cheers, man. Well, we always like you to play this music. Great honour with this orchestra, man. Cheers, mate. And whatever I can do to stimulate the players and share respect with the players is my job as an artistic director. And you know, it's a great privilege to be working with musicians this good, who enjoy the moment in the same way that I do so much, and who also got a great framework on structure. They've got a good understanding on the structure of music, you know. So to be able to bring in a new composer from their own heritage and to be able to take it to the world, I think represents the orchestra very well. Beautiful, man. Shall we just say hi?
Hello.
Cool, man.
To perform with this orchestra, which is the best Polish orchestra, most of the musicians, they are my colleagues from the school. So our rapport, it's from long time, it's a very special rapport. And our way of thinking about music, it's very similar. And the orchestra play with great devotion, with great understanding, you know, into this music.
Because I'm rehearsing with the orchestra, you know, I'm trying to find out which moments are the best to get some rapport and interaction between us all. You know, I'm trying to figure that out. And so when I'm in the middle of a working situation like this, it's very difficult to think about the concert situation. It's almost like maybe a sculptor who's got the stone and starting to make the first indentations on it. You know, we haven't really got anywhere yet. That's going to be in the actual performance. So I'm trying to find the rhythmic pacing of the work, how it can most represent it best, how we can do it best with the rhythmic pacing, the colours, the dynamic balances. With Jacek Kasprzak, obviously he's thinking about the same type of things, and the interaction between him and me You know, those things are what are kind of in gestation period at the moment, and which will hopefully come to the fore automatically and instinctively in the concert.
Nigel is Englishman, but his heart is very Slavic, and I don't feel any difference, you know, when his way of phrasing, his way of understanding music, it's very similar to my and to orchestra. So, in my opinion, it's the most great combination, you know, to perform Polish music.
I'd say with Młynarski, I would position him somewhere between Dvorak and Karłowicz, incidentally, on one side, and then Szymanowski on the other side. So he's a kind of link between those two languages.
I think Młynarski, this piece is, the music is just between Karłowicz, the style of music is between Karłowicz and Szymanowski. I think the factor of and harmony is something between these two composers.
The audience really got into the Karłowicz, as they did with the Młynarski in Germany. We toured, like in Germany, maybe 13, 14 cities, and these composers were well respected with, you know, standing ovations at the end of the performances, which, you know, at half time is not what you expect, and it's not. You know, I'm not going to say that it's just because I played the violin nicely. It's definitely to do with the music. Karłowicz only lived to be 30 years old, of course, before he died in the avalanche in the Tatras, which was the area which so much influenced his music. But I had to go to the Tatras to make sure that I was in the right mindset for making this album and doing these concerts. There is something with musicians who work in cities all the time, like I do, that there's this amazing enjoyment of life by getting out into the countryside, and particularly into mountainous areas where such a large thing can be such a quiet thing, you know? And so it's quite important to go and do something healthy and, like, refresh yourself and, like, start from a new canvas. And that's what, you know, walking up a mountain can really do for you. It can open up your life, man.
A release like this is extremely important. It's new music. It's music with which we're unfamiliar, and we want to hear new music. And with Nigel particularly, with his immense and important back catalogue, I think it's extremely valuable.
I think it's a great thing to record, especially with Nigel, these two pieces, because I think Violin Concerto by Karbowicz is already very known, but Młynarski, I think it would be great CD with Nigel, because he played beautiful.
I'm sure these records made by EMI, that's a great chance, you know, to show everybody, look, after Chopin, that was so many respectable composers. So I am so happy to see, you know, this project took place, and then now Polish music will be much better known.